even if you want somebody else, don't you think it's wise for us to talk about the epidemic of fatherlessness, the lie that America remains systemically racist, and the need for school choice? 13 public high schools in Baltimore, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level. Are you kidding me? 53 public high schools in Chicago, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party is opposed to school choice, while the party elites, whether it's Barack Obama or Gavin Newsom or Joe Biden, have their own kids in private school. It is wrong, and we need to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Larry Elder, why would somebody from our community vote for you, or why should they vote for you? Why should
What he was just saying right there.
a black person vote for you?
Because I'm telling the truth, and the truth oftentimes is unpleasant. It's not pleasant for me to be called the black face of white supremacy, as the LA Times did. It's not pleasant for me to be accused of being anti-black, as Tavis Smiley once called me, because I don't support reparations. By the way, Barack Obama never supported reparations. Nobody called him anti-black. We need to talk about what's going on. What's going on is the breakdown of the family. And most of the things we complain about downstream, whether it's crime or whether it's bad schools, the genesis is the breakdown of the nuclear intact family, and we don't talk enough about it.
Mic drop right there. So just because this is Breakfast Club, I do have to pause the video and kind of split it up a little bit, or else they're going to end up going after the video. But, I mean, he is on fire throughout this entire conversation. I'll put a link down below if you guys want to check out the entire thing. Just the way he's laying out these arguments, these are issues that people do care about. Right? These are issues that people do care about. The guy's asking why would people want to vote for him. It's like, okay, sure, I understand some of you guys are going to have be in the comments saying, well, he has no chance winning. Sure. What he's saying right there will make life better for all Americans. So let's get that message out there. Let's encourage what he's talking about. I mean, when it comes to, let's encourage more fathers in the home. Let's encourage school choice and people not being locked in their zip codes, stuff like that. Let's move on.
Do you agree that our community is hit harder with a lot of things that you just said, whether it is racism, whether it is getting loans, whether it is getting entrepreneurship, whether it is education, whether it is all those things? You do understand that and agree with that, correct?
I do.
Really quick. Can we just focus on this guy's taking the stance of the victimhood, saying the personal decision making, we'll put that over here. No. This is because of the color of our skin, which, there's no great argument for that today in the United States. If anything, there's more arguments against white people today in the United States. But let's just fixate really quick, and I'll make this very quick. That is a Royal Oak chronograph in yellow gold. It's a $100,000 watch. This guy's sitting on a chair that looks gold as well, playing the victim card. Not the best optics, my man.
But much of it is either self-inflicted or because of policies that we have supported, Democrats that we have supported. I wrote a book it's coming out in October. It's called As Goes California, My Mission to Rescue the Golden State and Save the Nation. It's about the one-party rule in California. California has supermajorities of Democrats in the Senate and in the House. And as a result, our schools are near the bottom. People are leaving California for the very first time. We have the highest state income tax in the country. The average price of a home in California costs 175% above the national average, all because of these left-wing policies that are hurting the very people, black and brown people living in the inner city, that people on the left claim that they care about.
Do you think slavery was self-inflicted? Or do you think Jim Crow segregation was self-inflicted? Or do you think,
It's a dishonest question that he is asking right here. He's obviously not talking about slavery. He's talking about other decisions that you can make throughout your life, such as, getting graduating high school, getting a job and keeping it, and not having children before marriage, right? There's some basic things that he's talking about here, saying that a lot of that is self-inflicted. Couldn't you probably just guess that he's not talking about slavery here? It's a ridiculous question.
Slavery was self-inflicted. Of course, it wasn't self-inflicted, but there are a lot of people have bloody hands in slavery. Mm-hmm. For example, slavery could not have existed had it not been for African chieftains who were selling black slaves captured in battle or captured through raids and selling them to European and Arab slavers. It could not have existed without that. So everybody has dirty hands here. That's why reparations is such a foolish thing. 100%. If you're going to get reparations from the 5% or so of white people that have some sort of generational connection to slavery, and that's all there is, then you need to go back to Africa and get money from African countries that were involved in the slave trade and in the Arab slave trade. And by the way, the Arab slave trade was even worse than the European slave trade. 90% rate of attrition, often making men and women walk on barefoot across the Sahara, and the men were castrated. Only about five.
So if they go after the money from the other countries, then would you agree that it would be okay to go after the money from America?
That's obviously not his point. It's almost like they're just trying to misunderstand him. He's saying that you could go so deep with it that it's ridiculous. There are native tribes that were enslaving one another. It'll be endless. You'll just keep chasing money until you get to like until you get to like 2000 BC or whatever. It is ridiculous. Or what about indentured servants in the United States? You can have this conversation forever. Instead, Larry is here talking about what can help Black Americans in the United States today, right now, like starting next month, next week. Not just, oh, hey, let's just give a bunch of people a bunch of cash and that'll be fine. That'll totally help the community. Just destroying incentive to work for, what, a year or two? I'm sure that'll go great.